Yo, what do you do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you another new chapter of Blade Maker DxD. Sorry it's been a while, I haven't been stressed out enough to make a new chapter, to be honest, and now I actually am pretty stressed out. I really need to record for this chapter now. If any of you have seen that in my video on that of my other channel about how much anime fans here in the West are literally the very definition of toxic bullshit, and the bullshit happening on that of Twitter, because honestly, I am getting sick of every single fucking anime community on Twitter and X, whatever the fuck. So yeah, I need a good stress outlet right now. So yeah, anyway, let's go with that of a pretty necessary recap since it's been a while. In the last part, Leon is basically living his week in that of Kuo Academy. However, due to the actions of Sona wanting to help Leon, it basically backfired by basically putting too much attention on him now, thanks to the perverted trio, with even teachers and students basically keeping their distance from him, which is leading up to him having quite a bit of stress, to the point that even his blades have to try and cheer him up, alongside that of an old classmate from his junior high years, a guy by the name of Minagaya, who also tried cheering him up too, and somewhat worked. However, behind the scenes of Leon's problems, without the supernatural side, two stray exorcists ordered by that of one of the cadres and leaders of Kogori, known as Kakebil, as these strays are known as Urs Bobaton and Flynn Yor, as unlike that of Rainer, who basically brought in all the stray exorcists just so they could cause some mayhem in that of Grummery and Citri controlled territory, alongside taking the sacred gear, Twilight Healing from Asia Argenta, the former Holy Maiden. Their duty was to kill that of Sona Citri, or one of the Grummery, or one of that of the Satan Sisters. They chose Sona mainly due to her peerage being the weakest. And as soon as the Grummery peerage basically left to take care of a certain task, that's when the two of them struck as well, as they attacked that of Kuo Academy with that of their two holy weapons to complete their mission. However, Leon showed up with that of his blades and help out the Citri peerage as well. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 8. My old life ends and my new life begins. While basically everything happening at that of Kuo is going down, at that of the old church out on the outskirts of Kuo, that was once that of church-controlled territory, now turned as that of the HQ for the fallen angel Rainer, let's just say everything basically goes a lot more smoothly and faster than it would have in that of main canon, mainly due to that of, Kalina, Georg, and Jean basically luring out tons of the remaining stray exorcists and killing them while they were trying to cause trouble across Kuo. However, preventing that of loss of many lives, mainly connected to that of, Rias and Sona as contractors after all. Due to the lack of, stray exorcists and also Donaseek only being there instead, let's just say things go a lot more quickly and smoothly than they would have in original canon because of this, and because of, Leon's actions existing. Issei was able to save Asya a lot more faster than before the sacred gear ritual even began to extract it from her after all. I mean, sure, Fried would basically still be a problem because, again, he's able to hold off both Issei, Kiba, and Konako, of course. The only reason on why they were able to save her before her sacred gear extracting was because of all of the hordes of stray exorcists that were basically in the basement not being there. Hell, there was only 10 remaining stray exorcists left. That's enough to have that of both Konako and Kiba to basically take care of easily, and allow that of Kiba, who's faster than that of Issei, even when he uses that of promotion, to destroy the sacred gear extractor and also save Asya before her sacred gear was removed. So yeah, to be honest, perfectly fine. Rainer, on the other hand, was not having it and was completely and utterly pissed at the fact that her plans was completely gone to shit. Hell, as soon as she tried to kill that of Issei and the others, alongside that of Asya to take her sacred gear, that's when that of Akeno and Rias finally show up, blasting her away with Akeno using her lightning spells and Rias about to finish her off with that of her power of destruction. Within Rainer saying, How are you even doing this? It's even possible? I had so much planned out. I was planning on taking her sacred gear to be loved by Lord Azazel, to be acknowledged by that of Lord Shinpei. Why? Why the hell can I not have this, damn it? As Rias is about to say something, that's when Kalinar soon spoke up saying, because you're a damn fool. Within, looking up, seeing that of the busty brunette fallen angel in all of her glory, with an Issa saying, hey, you're that fallen angel chick I fought about that of several days ago. Within, soon as Akeno is about to basically attack her, that's when Kalinar basically raises her hand saying, I'm not here to fight, to be honest. I'm here to give you a message, and I'm pretty sure you already gotten it actually, Gremory, since you're here. That the actions of Rainer are basically prohibited against that of Gogori, and she's been labeled that of a stray. So to be honest, everything you did here was free game. You're basically doing that of Gogori a favor by eradicating that of by remaining what's left of that of the stray priest, and also Donasek and her as well. Within hearing that, Rainer saying, You're lying! Lord Azazel would never! Within, she's saying, remember the sacred gear user I killed, otherwise known as Leon Takumi? He survived and awakened his sacred gear. It made no sense, and especially since his Annihilation Maker. Within hearing that name, those who actually knew what Annihilation Maker couldn't help but be shocked, mainly being that of Rias, Akeno, and Rainer as well. With Issei confused, but hearing the name of that of Leon saying, what, Takumi? What the hell is that bastard have to do anything about this? Within looking down at that of Issei, as she having that of a look of pure and utter disgust and hatred down at him, as he could actually feel that of the blood hatred from her eyes to down to him, making him basically wince a bit, within saying everything. It basically wanted me to realize on why did we kill somebody with that of a powerful sacred gear when we know that Lord Azazel wants those sacred gears into Gogori. And I found this out mainly due to that of Lord Azazel's true attack force that's normally made to gather that of sacred gear users for Lord Azazel. Within realizing this, saying, no, they were here this whole time? Within, Rias only spoke up saying, excuse me, you care to explain yourself, Fallen? I understand the whole rule that we were given the go-ahead to eliminate her and the rest of your ilk as well. However, you're making it sound like that we had no idea what was going on in our own territory. But then, Kalinar couldn't help but smirk, saying, that's because you didn't, Gremory Princess. My superiors were basically eliminating each and every one of the stray exorcists that was planning on causing trouble for you and that of the Citri Princess as well, by killing that of your contractors. Within hearing that, Rias saying, that makes way too much sense now. Just like what happened with Ed Issei. No, however, none of our contractors were basically killed though, outside of Konako's when she was double booked. Within, she's saying, are you saying, yes, we were the ones protecting your clients? Sure, weakening you would be perfect, but Lord Azazel doesn't want a war, and neither did my superior at the time as well. So be lucky that we helped you while we did. Within hearing that, Rias couldn't help but feel like that of her pride was basically damaged just hearing that alone. However, she put it aside before huffing, saying, either way, we've done our duty, and you can leave my territory now. Within, soon, that's when Freed soon comes in saying, ho, so that's the whole spew? No wonder this place was getting way less crowded as time goes on, and a lot less pussy to go around too, and way more dicks. looking down, seeing that of the white-haired priest himself, Fried Selzen. Within, Rainer saying, Fried, help me! Within, saying, huh? You want me to help you, fallen angel Sama? You'll do anything for me? Within, saying, yes, I'll do anything. Just save me. Within, looking back at that calendar, as she already looks like she's about to prepare that of her light spear. Within saying, as much as I want to, I know I'm not capable of basically taking all those losers out and saving you in the process. So how about this? You let me go, and I'll basically go back to Kogori with no fuss or problems. How does that sound? Titty Monster 1. Within, hearing that, Calendar couldn't help but have that of a twitching eye, within saying, as long as you basically are willing to accept your punishment, Fried, then I'll allow it. Within, bring down that of a spell circle beneath that of Fried, saying, later, Rainer Sama, hope you survive, if you can. With that, Fried soon dematerializes out of that of the church basement, with Rainer almost looking like her hope has basically been dashed right then and there, before noticing Issei saying, Issei! As then, Issei looking at that of Rainer. However, she takes the form of that of the girl known as Yuma Ayano, the same girl who tried to be that of Issei's girlfriend, as she tries everything to basically convince him to save her, protect her, even still having that of the little gift that he gave her during their date. With Issei basically conflicted, as again, this Issei has not unlocked, the boosted gear, mainly thanks to everything else that has happened. So he doesn't feel the rage and hatred towards her just yet. He's still pissed and angry, but a part of him still cares about her deep down. But then, soon, he's saying, Yuma-chan, Within, Ria's saying, Issei, don't. Within, soon, Issei looking at that of Rias, with her saying, look at her. Do you really think she cares about you? Just exactly what she did to you, and what she was about to do to that nun? Are you really just going to stand there and basically allow her to get away what she's done before again, and allow her to manipulate you? Within, hearing this, Issei saying, I just don't. Within, clenching onto that of Asia's body. Within, Asia placing her hand on that of Issei, cheek saying, you're a really good person, Issei-san. Within, Issei couldn't help but be shocked. Before then, Rainer saying, damn it. Within, looking at Kalina saying, Kalina, please, we're friends. We're comrades. We have to be there for each other. Don't you know that the fallen angels are almost about to be wiped out? Don't you care? Within, hearing all that, Kalina saying, I do. I actually do care about our race and everything else about it as well. However, I don't care about those who are willing to put our entire faction into jeopardy, all because she wanted to basically be loved by our leaders, who wouldn't even care about her if she disappeared. You're a girl living in your own mindless delusions, Rainer. It's time for you to pay for them. Within, hearing that, Rainer's entire face basically went in entire fear, realizing that nobody, and I mean nobody, is saving her. Within, soon, Kalina basically turns her back while still in the air, saying, do what you want, Gremory Peerage. She's all yours. You can kill her, use her, basically kidnap her, or even basically make her into one of your servants. We could care less. Just do what you need to do. After saying that, Kalina soon goes down to the ground and walks out of the basement. Within, Ria saying, you heard her, bringing up that of her right hand as she prepares her power of destruction. Within, Rainer saying, no. Before then, she's engulfed by that of the red orb, completely atomized to nothing. All that remains is that of her feathers. As for Issei, he couldn't help but think, Yuma-chan. But soon, looking at that, Back at that of Kalender, leaving out of the church. Within soon, she getting a message from that of Georg saying, "Oh, Lord Georg, I head to Kuo Academy now." Saying, "Lord Georg, they're on the move. Ernst and Flynn, they're attacking that of the Citri girl." Hearing this, saying, "This can't be serious. What are..." As Georg soon comment, he soon sends you could hear that of a blast of magic in the distance, saying, "We're a little bit caught up right now. It looks like Kakibio got probably got tipped up about what we were planned on doing. He sent that of a few of his minions to stall us." As Georg, and on that of the other side of the line, while holding up his phone, basically continues to send out a volley after volley of magical attacks from elements of fire, water, ice, and wind, and lightning, with even Joan also being there too, sending that of blast of holy magic towards that of the fallen angels too. However, there's another person there too as well, as he's also a member of that of the Kogori Sacred Gear Heroes Task Force. A man with that of silver hair and appearance that looks exactly like that of Fried Selzen. However, he almost seems a lot more mature and has at least a little bit more sanity. The thing that stands out the most is that he has that of 4 golden arms on his back, wielding multiple swords as well. As this being the one who bears the name Siegfried, as even though he basically is no closer to being that of the perfect Siegfried clone like that of Siv from the church, he actually looks like Siegfried even more than that of the others though. And also because of his sacred gear as well. Basically slashing away at that of the fallen angels coming his way, and basically blitzing towards that of the ones that have no idea about his attack. Siegfried couldn't help but think, all of this because Kakibio wants to start another damn war. As much as I want a war to happen as too, I wouldn't want to do this by assassination. But then Jean saying, Siegfried, dude, you're not being really smart right now. But then blocking another Holy Spear attack coming for her before stabbing that of her opponent in the chest. War is not good for business. With then Georg saying, indeed, many of us may be unaffected by the supernatural in one way or another. But Lord Azazel, alongside that of Sao, gave us a purpose. We will pay it any way that they see fit. Remember this, Siegfried. Within, Siegfried rolled his eyes saying, I am aware. Cao gave me a place to belong with you guys, and Azazel did give me a home to return to. Even if I had to deal with that damn bastard Fried all the damn time, I wouldn't change this for the world. As he having that of a smirk before blitzing even towards that of the remaining fallen angels, with that of 6 swords all ready to strike them down. Back with that of Sona and Leon, fighting against that of, Ernst and Flynn. Then, as Leon's blades basically are taking on that of Flynn, being that of Cora, Corv, and Abrona, while those taking on that of Ernst, being that of Godfrey, Peru, and Percival, while that of the other blades are basically keeping an eye on that of the others. Within, Sona saying, Takumi-kun, why are you saying, hey, like I said, just because I don't like being around people, that doesn't mean I like to see them get hurt and suffer after all. Within, Tsubaki couldn't help but say, why? You don't need to step in. We can help out too, saying, as much as I want you guys to help out, and I appreciate that of the enthusiasm, senpai. But let's be real. You guys really struggled like hell to even fight against them, to be honest. If I haven't shown up, one of you would probably be dead by now. After hearing the deadpan tone from his voice, all of them could help but agree. But then, even that of Ryuka saying, but senpai, you don't need to step in. Please let us help. I mean, we may not be as strong as you, but at least... Within, saying, Ryukai, I want to say thank you. Within, hearing that, saying, what? You've always looked out for me. Always been there to help me out. For the past week, you've really supported me. And I appreciate that, even though I don't really deserve it. So for that, Within looking back at her, with having his eyes closed behind his glasses and smiling, saying, "It really means a lot, and let me do this for you guys." Within hearing that, Ryukai couldn't help but blush and place her hands on that of her chest, saying, "Senpai." Looking back at his new foes, having a serious look, getting into a battle stance, before then saying, "Vale, Dahlia, keep the girls safe. If you see any stray shots or those bastards coming straight for them, don't let them get by." Within, Vale saying, "If you're asking, fine, I'll do it." Within, Dahlia saying, "Sure, hon, show them what you can do. Newt, link with me." Within, sending that of a link towards that of Leon, with her saying, "Commander, you're all set." Within, giving that of a thumbs up, before then, from both that of her right arm and her massive right arm too, saying, "Thank you." Before then, feeling the magic flowing through his body as he blitzes towards Flynn first. Within, soon saying, "What the hell?" As he then blocks that of the flaming sword with that of his holy chakra, saying, "Holy crap, this kid is strong!" However, his other blades weren't staying too idle, as Corv, alongside that of Korra, was about to strike him down too. But then, basically, turning that of the latch on his chakra, within, it separates into two, as he then blocks the attacks from all three of them, before then kicking away that of Leon, and then begin to clash with that of Corv and Korra, while basically battling with that of their blades in gauntlets. However, Abrona was already above that of around that of Flynn, as he soon basically jumps, basically tries to deal that of a downward drop kick. Seeing that of the flying blade coming down, Flynn can't help but say, "Oh, screw this." Before then, sending that of a burst of light magic, basically coming from the chakras, with then causing Abrona to basically, get off track from that of the blast, with even knocking back that of Korra. However, Korv, on the other hand, the light magic basically doesn't even faze him that much. It still hurts, but not to a huge degree. The reason being, blitzing towards that of the black-haired, glasses-wearing stray exorcist, with then clashing with that of his swords, even clashing with that of the chakras. The two are now in a deadlock, with then saying, "How? That was a huge burst of blast from that of my moon carvers. These chakras come from that of the Hindu pantheon, were used by that of the moon god, Charna. How is a mere human able to basically blitz through that of the power of the divine light of the Hindu?" With that, Korra can help but smirk, saying, "That's because I'm no ordinary human. I'm a blade." Within, Flynn basically raising an eyebrow, saying, "Am I supposed to know what that is?" But then, soon, Korra saying, "Nope." Before then getting out of the deadlock, however, at the same time, that's when Leon gets back into the fight too, clashing once more, before then sheathing that of his flaming katana, before then soon saying, "Zentetsu," saying, "What the?" and was already past that of Flynn, with his sword basically already unsheathed, and then sheathing it again, causing that of Flynn to basically have that of a cut on that of his chest, using as he tries to cover that of the wound, saying, "What the hell? How the hell did he?" But then looking back, saying, "How that mere human, he's," within realizing, "Wait, I now know who you are. I remember your ass from the files. You were one of the people that Lord Kakibia wanted to kill. Leon Takumi, the guy with that of a sacred gear that's supposed to be dangerous. I may not know a lot about sacred gears, but what kind of sacred gear allows you to create creatures like this?" But then Leon saying, "Normally this would be the time I could tell you that and do the whole the power that I have surpasses yours and whole bullshit that always do in anime. But right now, all I want to do is protect those girls and get the hell out of here. So I'm going to leave you and your friend over there who's fighting that of my other blades, looking back at Erst, fighting against that of Godfrey, Peru, and also Percival. As surprisingly, Erst is holding his own against that of his 3 strongest blades right now. As Leon continues saying, "Get the hell out of here and never return in my town again." After hearing that, Flynn could up and say, I'm not the kind of person to be talkative this much. And seeing that I am, it's really starting to piss me off. You're starting to piss me off. Not to mention, I hate being cut. I hate being harmed in general or hurt in general to begin with. So for that, then he gets into that of a crouching stance, separating that of his chakras from each other. Before then, a wave of holy energy begins to engulf that of his body, saying, "I'm going to make sure that you die painful and slow. I normally like to make it quick so I can enjoy seeing the blood on the ground. But now let's make you made this personal." With that, and that of blinding speeds blitzing towards that of Leon. Then, Leon completely utterly shocked by how fast he's going, but just on pure instincts, tosses the blade towards that of Newt. Within, catching that of her sword in her hands before it basically grows larger than that what Leon had. Before then, unsheathing the sword, sending that of a fiery wave slash. Within, however, the fiery wave slash wasn't enough. As then, Newt steps in to block the attack from that of Flynn. Within, however, knocking back that of Newt, but still standing her ground, saying, "He's gotten stronger." However, before noticing, his movements begin to change, as it almost looks like he's dancing, spinning, flipping, and basically jumping around. As Kor, Abrona, and even Korra basically try and take him down. However, his movements are way too agile and erratic for them to even lay a hit on him now. But then, Leon can up and say, "Damn it, his movements are so different from before." Before realizing, wait, those movements, those dance movements, I remember those moves. As he looks closer, he soon remembers something back when he was a kid. Remembering his dad as that of a 10-year-old Leon, looking at that of his dad in the back and that of the backyard, with his mom basically sitting right next to him, and a middle-aged Asian woman that looks way too young to be looking like to be in that of her 30s, while looking at that of a person dancing around. That of a dark-skinned man with that of spiked up dreadlocks basically moving around, and that of a synchronized moot pattern with spins and flips that actually coordinate with one another to that of a good movement and flowing stance. With Leon having that of looks of pure and utter awe behind his glasses, even his mouth got open up too, as his mom looks at that of her son, but then she's saying to Leon, saying, "So, beautiful, isn't it?" Saying, "Yeah, real cool. Dad, I didn't know that Dad does this stuff a lot." As then she's saying, "Well, he said that his dad actually taught him this. He doesn't like talking about him that much outside of certain other things. Besides, well, he does talk a lot about Grandma. Why does he like talking about Grandpa?" Then, looking at that of his mom, she looking down saying, "He has his reasons. But all the same, he's showing you this not just to basically show off, like he normally does, but to basically show you a piece of your own culture, Leon. You're more than just an African American and Japanese, after all. You are so much special." But then hearing that, Leon couldn't help but smile. However, part of him, as he grew up, thought that was basically nothing but a mother just trying to comfort and inspire her son. But right now, that memory just continues to play on loop. Within saying, "He's having the same dance movement that the old man had." I don't know. However, looking at his placement, within seeing that he was about to blitz towards that of Leon again, and that of Newt, As Abrona tries to step in, finally using that of her short swords to basically attack, but uses his chakra to parry the attack and knock her back. But at that split second and moment, that's when his dance basically faltered, with Finn realizing, I see it. Even while basically parrying an attack, your movements are still supposed to be fluent, no matter how bad, no matter how heavy the attack is. He's not doing it properly, unlike the old man. Figures as much. It's basically a copy of the same dance that Dad did. Core, switch out with me! Within saying, huh? Really? Yeah. Throw me one of your swords. Within, grabbing one of his chrono katanas and tossing it towards that of Leon as well. Grabbing that of the white one, Within, prepare it as he then begins to feel that of the light aura engulfing him. Within, Newt still having that of hers, saying, Commander, saying, ready on my mark. We had to prepare this properly. Within, soon mentally linking with that of Cora and also that of Abrona as well, saying, Abrona, Cora, I want you guys to link up too as well. Mark with me. Within, Abrona saying, okie dokie, you got it, fam. Narrowing his eyes. That's when soon Flint saying, whatever the hell you idiots are planning doesn't matter. When I'm done with all of you, you're all going to be wishing you were dead beneath me! After that, he soon blitzes towards that of Leon once more. But then soon, at that split second, he mentally gives them the order saying, now! With Newt sending that of another fiery slash, both Cora and Abrona send that of a lightning strike from them, with that of Abrona sending that of a wave of lightning from a spin slash, and Cora sending that of a pillar of lightning from that of a downward fist slam, while also blitzing towards that of Flynn too. Cora prepares his only chrono sword in his hand, as then he jumps up into the air. Within, seeing each attack basically coming at him, Flynn can't help but smirk as he basically parries and basically blocks each and every one of the elemental strikes. Within saying, you seriously really thought that was gonna work? Like hell that was! Within, without warning, both Core and Leon are basically at that of Flynn's back in front and looking completely and utterly shocked and terrified, saying, but how? My movements, my speed, my power. When I move like this, nobody can basically hit me. I can counter and parry each and every attack. As trying to move his body to defend himself from each attack, however, he's already too badly off balance and off kilter to even use any of his arms properly to defend, before then being stabbed in the back and stabbed in the front at the exact same time. Thanks to that of Core also enhancing that of Leon's speed too, due to them being linked up together, there was no way that Flynn could even dodge either one of their attacks coming straight for him. Within, blood begins to spill out of his mouth, with having that of two blades jetting out of his body. Within saying, ow, did you? Within, Leon couldn't help but smirk as one of his glasses lens begins to gleam, while the other, not so much, as he just gives off that of a cold and not even caring look, saying, having to take a life doesn't feel right. Having to kill pisses me off. It's not right. What gives me the right to take a life? Just because I have to protect somebody? Just because I'm defending myself? Valid reasons, maybe, but that doesn't excuse no matter what I do. I'm going to live with the consequences of taking another's life like yours. While you had to come to the realization that your life was basically taken by somebody that just wanted to protect others when I gave you a chance to leave. As both Corv and Leon remove their blades from Flynn's body, he couldn't help but basically just eyes wide, basically roll up before falling onto the ground in a pool of his own blood, with then removing the blood from his chrono sword, but then handing it back to that of Corv. With that of the Citri girls, they are complete and total shock and awe on what they just saw with that of Leon. As that of Rii couldn't help but say, he killed him. Not even breaking a sweat. Not even batting an eye. But then, Momo saying, no. I saw the look in his eye. He hated having to do it, but he did it anyway. All to protect. With Sona saying, me. Or rather, us. But then, Rii saying, and not only that, he knew he was facing against a more superior and more skilled foe, and yet he was able to counteract him pretty easily. Planned against him and everything. Even strategized with that of his creatures or blades. I knew he was smart, but to be this battle sense smart? How's this even possible? But then Tsubaki couldn't help but basically comment saying it's because he's perfect. Within, everybody looking at that of the long-haired Ravenette, as for once, Tsubaki having that of a genuine, caring smile, saying he basically suppresses all of his negative and dark feelings and doesn't talk about it because he doesn't want to burden others. All he is, but in reality, he's a person that cares deeply about others, even those he's fighting against. He doesn't enjoy taking lives, but if he has to, he's willing to. That's just the kind of person Leon is. It's the kind of person he's always been. But then, all of the girls still shocked, and also seeing Leon in totally different light, especially a certain white-haired girl. But then Dahlia spoke up saying, you know our little creator all too well, don't you, honey? With then, looking at that of the beast-like blade, with then Tsubaki saying, oh, well, you see, you don't need to say anything, dear. I actually noticed how you look at Leon. But then, she couldn't help but blush at that, as this is the rare time that Tsubaki has ever blushed in front of people. But then even Tsubasa saying, oh, Vice Prez really is blushing. So that really means she does have a... But then, glaring at that as the blue net girl. But then Tsubasa saying, I'll shut up now. But then, with Tsubaki saying, I just admire him. I could tell... You could say it was love at first sight, in a way. But then, Ryukai couldn't help but look at that of her senpai and fellow peerage member, with that of the same also admiration that they have towards Leon as well. Within that of Vale, on the other hand, she couldn't help but roll her eyes while still having her spear on her shoulders, saying, I didn't think that our little master was basically the playboy type. Oh, who am I kidding? He's not. If anything, he thinks that everybody hates him, no matter who they are, even if they're being nice to him. God, that self-worth issues really are a problem. Maybe I should try and find some way to fix that. Within, the redhead Tomoe saying, oh, got a thing for that of your little master, don't you? Within, that of the pale-skinned Goth couldn't help but say, and what of it, raspberry? Within saying, ouch. Just like that, aren't you? Nothing much, just a little curious. He's really cool, not to mention his swordplay style. It's similar to Ei Jutsu, but to be honest, it's so different as well. Not only that, handling so many other different types of weapons and coordinating, that's the kind of stuff that you would see from somebody who was a master tactician and strategist. Within, Vale saying, without realizing it, or a guy who just plays way too many strategy-based RPGs when he shouldn't be. Within hearing that, both Tomoe, alongside that of Ryui, couldn't help but say, wait, seriously? Even Sona heard that saying, he just plays RPGs. He plays video games and he's that good? But then Vale rolling her eyes once more saying, not necessarily. He basically makes up for not being strong enough or powerful enough by giving us strategies, tactics, and that of, well, certain formations to basically overcompensate for that of his lack of power after all. Just because he's called this so-called king of monsters for having a sacred gear like Annihilation Maker doesn't mean he is really overpowered as you think. Citri, within hearing that, Sona saying, I see. Currently with Erst actually blocking another one of Godfrey's smashes with that of his hammer, as trying to push him back. However, that of his holy lance is still basically holding out. Within Peru, alongside Percival, about to strike him down. Before then, knocking back that of Godfrey, and then trying to strike at that of Peru. Before then, sending a holy aura blast from the palm of his hand towards that of Percival. Within Percival, sheathing his sword and using his scabbard to basically block the attack, skidding him back. However, at the same time, it begins to crack his armor, which is also his exoskeleton, which then puts him onto his knees, thinking, ugh, that was something else. To think he had that much power. The light may harm me, but even so, I wouldn't be able to take that much damage. Looking at that of his cracked armor, he cannot say, I guess this is what I expect from somebody like him. With blocking another attacks from that of Godfrey and Peru, within Godfrey saying, we're not really laying any type of damage on the guy. And within looking back at that of Flynn on down on the ground with Leon tossing back the Chrono Blade towards Corv. Within, soon Peru saying, and it looks like our master was able to defeat his foe with the others. With us working together, we should be able to overwhelm him now. Within, Erst looking back at that of his dead comrade on the ground, saying, Flynn, you fool. I'm not surprised that you overestimated your foe. I always told you it was a matter of time until one foe basically was strong enough to put you down for good. Within, seeing the opportunity saying, my mission, I don't see my mission being completed. Even if I take each and every one of you down one by one, I'll be too weak to take down that of the Citri heir, making it easier for her peerage to basically pick me off one by one, no matter how many I kill. But then, seeing on how nonchalantly Erst says this, and to be honest, the way he says it, he really says it as that of a fact, not a reassurance or anything, but just a mere fact. As then, Peru saying, then why don't you surrender? Unlike your comrade there, who is now dying in a pool of his own blood, why don't we talk this out as rational, normal people? But then, Erst saying, that's surprising. You don't see that kind of, mindset in the supernatural in this day and age. I commend you, Lady Warrior of the Spear. However, my duty is more important, and I always repay my debts no matter what. However, my life is way more important than basically fulfilling that debt, to be fair. So I decided, within dematerializing that of his lance, within saying, I'll be surrendering and retreating. As for my friend's corpse, do what you want with him. Flynn is no longer useful. Within hearing that, Leon saying, what? You're just abandoning him? Isn't he your comrade? Saying, no. He was more of a associate. Nothing more, nothing less. We were not truly comrades, or rather, I didn't see him as a comrade. He was a dog who basically went off on his leash from too long enough. We may have been basically bred in the same facility and by the same project, but in reality, where he relied way too much on that of his weaponry to basically get him by, I relied on my own strength and power. It was only a matter of time until he faced a foe who could outsmart him, who relied way too much on his power of his weapons than himself. As the red-haired ponytail young man couldn't help but basically scoff, before then saying, Citri heir, I'll let you know this now. The assassination on you and Grimory has been declined now. Your life has been spared, at least for now. Within hearing that, Sona, taking that of a serious look, trying to show that of her air superiority and leadership, adjust her glasses saying, How do I know that you will keep your word? How do I know that you're not going to betray us right after? Within, Earth saying, you don't, and you have to take it. As much as killing you would basically fulfill my goal, like I told you, my life is far more important than fulfilling my debt to that of my master. Not to mention the variable of dealing with that of Annihilation Maker's sacred gear wielder, especially this generation's king of monsters, would be a lot wasn't planned for. With Leon basically glaring at that of Erst, within Erst, just basically looking back at that of Leon, within soon saying, your name, Leon Takumi, am I correct? Within saying, yeah, I am. And you are saying Erst Bobaton, wielder of the Holy Lance, wielded by that of King Arthur himself, Rongo Miniad. Within hearing this, Leon saying, Rongo Miniad? That name sounded familiar. And King Arthur? Within saying, well, hopefully we don't meet again, but given the supernatural and given my affiliation with Ugori, chances of that are quite slim, to be honest. As for my time to go, well, I'm guessing my ride has finally appeared. Within hearing that, something also comes through out of the barrier, as it being that of Kaliner, who has finally arrived. Within, Leon saying, Miss Kaliner? Within saying, thank God, I made it in time. Within realizing, wait, with soon seeing that of Flint's corpse on the ground saying, he killed one of them. He killed one of Gogori's strongest stray exorcists? Within, Kaliner couldn't help but look at that of Leon, as she placing her hand on her chest saying, I knew the boy had potential. But to think he had this much potential? Only having the sacred gear for at least that of 2 weeks, and this skilled, I have to say, he is truly something else. We really did miss out, Lord Azazel. Gogori lost out on another powerful sacred gear user. Before then, no longer looking at that of Leon with that of, well, admiring eyes, and now looking at that of Erst with that of look of disdain and hatred. Erst Bobaton, by orders of Governor General and by that of the Hero Squad, the Sacred Gear Task Force of Gogori, you are placed by under arrest. Within saying, I figured as much. That's why I will surrender peacefully to you, Lady Kaliner. Please, send me back to the underworld so I can head back to Gogori. Within hearing that, saying, just like that, I thought for sure you would. Flynn would most definitely basically bitch about it. He hates basically being forced to take that of unnecessary orders or losses. His words, not mine. For me, I'm aware of my punishment after all. Whatever goes, happens. That's how it is it not? Within hearing this, Kaliner couldn't help but basically fly down saying, don't try anything stupid, Erst. As he couldn't help but just smirk a little bit saying, of course, as you wish, milady. Before snapping his fingers as that of his priest robes basically materialized once again, within saying, Leon Takumi, King of Monsters. I'll let you know this now. If you plan on affiliating yourself with that of the devils, be prepared to be facing against that of the entirety of the supernatural. Out of all of the supernatural, there are basically 3 factions that can't stand, that everybody cannot stand. 1 is Gogori, being the fallen angels. 2 are the vampires. And number 1, the devils. Just making yourself an ally of them will basically turn you into that of a living target. Just remind you of that. Until we meet again. With soon, a spell circle materializes under him, as he soon disappears right then and there as well. Within, Kaliner couldn't help but sigh, saying, well, that takes care of that. Then, looking back at Leon, as she was about to speak, before then, Sona's clearing her throat, saying, I should ask you something, Miss Fallen Angel, saying, Kalina. Just call me Kalina. That's it. As for this little assassination plot, It was basically a rogue scheme done by that of a certain, rogue fallen angel. The very same fallen angel that you and Gremory were supposed to take care of here in your territory. Within hearing this, soon, Sona couldn't help but basically narrow her eyes, saying, I see. So they weren't just planning on causing that of problems here in his territory, but also planned out of an assassination scheme. Within Kalendar saying, agreed. Before then mentally saying, sorry, Rainer. As much as we want to tell the devils the truth about that of Kakibio being a traitor, just giving them any information that a leader of Gogori or any cadre basically this assassination could cause problems. As an old friend, sorry that even after death, your name is going to be going under that of hatred and infamy. Within, Sona saying, tell your leaders that keep a better leash of that of their fodder after all, or the devils will have to continue to clean up their mess. Agreed. Within, Kalendar couldn't help but sigh and huff, saying, understood, princess. Within, Leon couldn't help but smile at that of Kalendar, with her smiling back. However, at the same time, noticing this, Tsubaki, Ryuko, Sona, and surprisingly Momo couldn't help but look at that of Kalendar with that of a look of pure and utter hatred. The way that she looks at that of Leon, and Leon looks at her. Within, soon, Kalendar saying, it's not too late. As what Earth said, the devils are considered to be the most hated faction in all of the supernatural, even more than us of Gogori, and we cause a lot of problems ourselves. It's not too late to change. Leon was about to speak. However, that's when somebody spoke up, as it being Percival, saying, everybody get down! Within, looking at that of Finn's body, as it's not on the ground, but standing up, with that of his chakras, and say, I'm not dying here. I'm taking you all with me. I don't care if that bastard Ernst abandoned me. I'm ending this job here and now. Within, soon, channeling so much that of holy light into that of his chakras. Within, as soon they begin to become so large. However, doing so causes him to basically cough up even more blood, saying, I don't care what life I have left. I'm taking you bastards with me! With soon throwing those chakras down, as he aims straight for that of Leon and Kalona, as he's too basically pissed to realize that his original target being Sona was basically farther away. While Leon's blades basically go for the attack that was heading straight for him, blocking it pretty easily with the help of that of Newt, Peru, Godfrey, Percival, and that of Cora as well. The one heading for that of Kalendar was a different story. Seeing that his blades were basically defending him, but not defending that of Kalendar, he couldn't help but basically rush towards her with that of blinding speeds, before then pushing her out of the way. At the same time, the attack ends up hitting his left side of his body, cutting off both his leg and his arm, as he couldn't help but gasp and basically grunt in that of pain, while Kalendar, feeling her being pushed, looked down and her eyes winding. Within, each attack basically explodes then and there. But soon, seeing this, everybody couldn't help but scream, Leon, Takumi! Senpai! Takumi-kun! As the blades basically finished defending the attack, within them realizing, oh no. But soon, seeing that of Leon on the ground, over that of Kalendar, within realizing, Leon-kun, you, within coughing and wincing in pain, saying, hey, you alright, Kalendar? As his glasses basically crooked and everything, within saying, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. It's just that, why? Why would you? Saying, like I said, I may not like people, but I don't like to see them get hurt. And luckily, you're not hurt. What soon? The Citri girls head over to that of Leon. Within, she's saying, you, Citri, save him, now! With then her saying, Takumi-kun, saying, you planned on reincarnating him, didn't you? Do it! With then, hearing that, saying, with soon, Tsubaki saying, Sona, please, I have never asked you for so much at all, but please, even if it's against his will, do it! Save Takumi-kun. Save Leon! Hearing the words from that of her best friend, and actually completely frantic from that of her always stoic and cold demeanor, even seeing the look from that of her own peerage, before then, materializing a spell circle with that of her family crest on it, with that of a chessboard with tons of chess pieces. Within, looking at that of her only mutated pawn piece, saying, Leon-kun, please, survive, and live on for me and my family. Live for all of us. Placing that of the mutated pawn piece in that of his back, within, realizing nothing is happening. Within, soon Tomoe saying, oh my god, don't tell me he needs more than one piece. And that was President's strongest piece. Sona realizing that she needs another, she puts another one of her regular pawn pieces, then another, and another, and another, until that of 5 pawn pieces were inside of Leon, counting the mutated piece and that of 4 regular pawn pieces. As his body begins to react, with that of the Citri clan spell circle beneath him, with that of his left leg and left arm regenerating. Within, she couldn't help but that of sigh and relief, saying, he's okay. Within, soon, Calendar saying, he saved me. And yet, within, moving that of Leon off of her, as the Citri girls basically check on him to see if he's all right. Within, Sona going over to Calendar saying, since Takumi-kun is now a member of my peerage, in a way, I should probably, and you do see him as an ally, do you not? Within saying, more like a friend, actually. And possibly, hopefully, more than that, too. And she tries saying that quietly before anybody could hear. Thankfully, even out of superhuman devil instincts couldn't hear that. But then she's saying, I see. Given that, it has been a quite rough couple of weeks, after all, for all of us. Especially for Takumi-kun. Given this incident has caused quite a bit of a stir, how about I make a proposal for you and your Grigori leaders. Send them this message. Within, hearing this, Calendar couldn't help but tilt her head to the side. The very next day, Leon wakes up back into that of his dorm room. Within, basically blinking multiple times, saying, what the hell? Did anybody get the name of that truck that hit me? Within, blinking multiple times, realizing, wait, I'm in my dorm room? Why would I be in my... Within, remembering, oh my god, that attack, those wounds, Calendar, oh god, did I? Within, soon looking down, seeing somebody basically moving around. However, as soon as he removes that of his cover, it ended up being Sona. Within, blinking multiple times, trying to grab his glasses while still basically looking at that of the sleeping Sona. Within, putting them on, realizing, yep, I am not dreaming. She's here. Before then, basically jumping out of his bed like crazy, saying, what the actual hell? Before then also realizing, why the hell am I naked? Within also looking at Sona saying, why the fuck are you naked? Within Sona saying, is this how you react to somebody who saves your life? Takumi-kun saying, save my... Within, blinking multiple times, realizing, you saved my life. How did you... Saying, before you asking questions, allow me to answer them. The questions that matter the most, how are you even alive? And how did I heal you? Simple, really. I turned you into a reincarnated devil. Within, hearing that, saying, you what? At her saying, yes, I did. Tsubaki begged me to save you. And then not only that, I wanted to save you too. Because you're important too, Takumi-kun. But then soon, Takumi can help but clench his fist saying, President Sona. Within her raising her hand, while still using that of Leon's blanket to cover herself, before then saying, allow me to explain the reason on why I want you to be part of my peerage entirely. It wasn't just because I wanted to bring in you a powerful person. And yes, taking away your free will is one thing. But what I really wanted you for is part of my peerage. It's for my dream. Within hearing this, Leon saying, your dream? As Sona begins to go into details about her dream to open a raiding game school. A school for that of reincarnated devils and low-class devils. Devils who are not even part of the 72 pillars, but commoners. To give them the schooling, education, and the ability to rank up into that of devil society as well. She always admired the education system and always hated the lack of education for everybody and for the devil race. Her knowledge is power. It shouldn't be a privilege. It should be a right. So mainly, her peerage is mostly composed of those that she believes would make great teachers for her raiding game school and would basically fulfill one aspect of that school's curriculum. But however, she's still a devil. She still needs power. She still needs somebody or even herself to symbolize her strength. And then when she found out about that of Leon being the new king of monsters, having Annihilation Maker, being a skilled fighter too, and everything else, she couldn't pass up that opportunity at all. She tried seducing him, power, conversing him, even tried that of gambling, and yet each attempt failed. She never tried just being truthful and honest with herself and him. Right now, within hearing all that, Leon saying, so you wanted me to be a symbol of your strength for your raiding game school. Not just me, but also my blades as well. But then Sona nods, within saying, I'm sorry that I took away your free will of for joining me. If you wanted to not, I can understand, but within saying, why didn't you say that earlier, god damn it? After saying that, he couldn't help but wince in pain, saying, okay, ow, what the fuck was that? But then she went commenting saying, you can't say that of the, God of the Bible's name anymore. You have to say it like that as a whole. If you say his name or any other way in that of, blasphemy, you'll feel a sharp pain. Within hearing that saying, okay, yeah, that's going to be a pain in the ass, since that's mostly my vocabulary. But like I said, why didn't you was honest just before? Why didn't you just come out and just say it? Just like then and there. Honestly, I would have thought about it and then thought it over and realized I probably would have joined if you were just freaking honest. Damn. I like people that actually think about others instead of just themselves. But then hearing this, Sona saying, you would? Saying, yeah. Wanting to give everybody an education is pretty good. Those less fortunate than you, normally people would say that's a bit of a savior complex. I won't lie, I've dealt with that shit more times than I can count, especially for myself. But for me, just helping others in need, without having anything paid back, is good enough for me. Giving back to others is just as great. Within hearing this, she's saying, Takumi-kun, saying, Leon. Within, she's saying, huh? You have the right to call me Leon now. Only it's fair if I could. Within, basically looking over to the side, seeing his face almost, have that of tint in his cheek, saying, if I have the right to call you Sona, at least outside of school. Within hearing that, Sona could help but basically blush, not caring about that of her modesty. Before then, she began to web and saying, it's fair, but only outside of school. On school premises and even in that of our club and even during our devil activities, you only call me that of President or Lady Sona. Within saying, deal. Before then, wiping away her tears before noticing Leon still being, could you put some clothes on? Within Leon saying, oh shit, god damn it! As he runs into that of the bathroom, within Sona saying, well, I didn't think that my first experience with that of the male body would be like this. However, she couldn't help but give off that of a small smile saying, and I don't mind at all. As the end of Leon Tatsumi the human, and the beginning of Leon Tatsumi, the reincarnated devil, and soon to be the strongest being in the supernatural. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, how'd you guys like this part? This is the end of that of the first arc of DxD, and we'll basically be moving into that of the next arc. Trust me guys, don't worry, it's not going to be too damn long like this one was. All I wanted to do was basically set up the kind of person that my character is. Basically a guy that feels like the entire world is against him, always feeling down on his luck, always hating the fact that nobody understands who the real Leon is outside of a select few, but genuinely wants to help others, hates killing unless he has to, even though he doesn't want to, and is always willing to help out others even if it doesn't seem right after all. So yeah. And to be honest, Sona is basically the perfect choice for that of Leon and my character, to be honest. I'm the kind of person that wants to help others in need, no matter what, even if I get nothing out of it, or if it causes me even more suffering. Sona's kind of the same way. Her whole entire dream of creating a rating game school is something that Leon would get behind, to be honest. It's better than that of Rias after all, outside of just following the same format that almost every other DxD fanfic always follows. So yeah, at any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification key to date my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, main channel, other channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All link in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, and hope you all take care.